Let me ask you something. How many times have you gone to Target or your favorite craft store and picked up this cute little planner with the intention of using it to change your life? And then a week goes by and you don't even know where your new planner is. It's somewhere collecting dust. Are you guilty? Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me for another video. This is Quita from AtHomeWithQuita, and here I share tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So of course guys, most of us are capable of writing down our goals, our appointments, our to-do lists, but what's really needed is how best to use this information with your planner in order to motivate and inspire you so that you can move towards positive change. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the action steps that you need to take in order to achieve your goals. So I am going to walk you through the steps of how you can purchase a planner and then you can use it to be the best version of yourself. Number one is to invest in a planner you love. So you're not going to be able to use a planner effectively unless you find a planner that you're actually going to love using. Because if you don't have a planner that you will love using, you're not going to use it. And if you're not using it, you're definitely not going to get organized. You're not going to be able to be as productive as you can be. So if you're looking for something that's fully customizable, that's typically what I lean towards. I want to be able to customize it so that I have a planner that's going to best fit me, because I use a planner and you use a planner differently from someone else. So if you're looking for that type of planner, of course, Fancy Plans has you covered. You guys know within our shop we have disc-bound planners, coil planners. We pretty much have everything. And so you should be able to find something there to be able to build a planner from scratch so that you can make sure you have all of the parts in there that you're going to need for your particular life. There are also tons of other companies out there on the market that have similar systems, and I'm sure if you do a little bit of research, you'll be able to find that perfect planner. So you'll want to take that into consideration. If you want a planner that's fully customizable, you'll probably want to lean more towards the disc-bound system. Again, there are other systems out there that you could use that will be able to have you be able to customize your own planner as well. I just tend to lean towards the disc-bound system. But again, this is where your research is going to come into play so that you can find the perfect planner from the inserts, from the cover, because that's something you'll want to consider as well. If you are a person that likes a little style to yours, then you'll want to look at that also. And then also think about how much freedom you want in your planner. Do you want to maybe have blank pages where you can bullet journal? Now that's not my style of planning because I'm not the artistic type, but if you feel like you are and you want to be able to draw in those boxes and to-do lists and squares and just really channel your inner creativity, then bullet journaling may be the way to go for you. And also, do you like a fully assembled planner? You don't want to think about customization. You don't want to think about putting anything together. You want something that's already ready-made and ready to use. Then you'll probably want to go with a coil-bound system. Now, disc-bound systems do have ready-made planners for you. It's just the way that the pages are punched that makes it a little bit different. And then you can pull those pages out and move them around. So don't forget that the disc-bound system can be ready-made for you as well, but it just also gives you that functionality to move things around, especially if you like change and you see yourself as one type of planner in one moment of your life or one season in your life, and then later down the line you decide that you are a completely different type of planner and you want to be able to move those pages around at that time. So think about that as well. But if you just don't even want to consider that and you just want to lean towards something that is already ready to go, it's got the cover there, it's got the pages there, it's got the dividers there, you want to just pick that planner up and use it as is, then you'll probably want to go with a coil system. And that's really going to keep things simple for you, especially again if you don't have anything additional that you need to add. And lastly, you may be a digital girl. Now, I have never been able to fully get into that digital life because I'm just a paper planner. I love to be able to see things on paper. I like writing. But if you are more of a digital person and you just want to be fully digital, there is now a whole community of people who digital plan. So I would definitely look into that as an option as well. And that may be your best bet. Because again, we want to find the right system for you. And so you want to make sure that you look at all the options. So again, we've talked about the disc bound system. We've talked about coil bound planning. We've talked about bullet journaling, just in case you just want complete freedom. We talked about coil planners, and then we talked about digital planning. So again, just do a little bit of research, dive into the community, look on YouTube, start exploring content videos. There's tons of resources out there. So that way you can hone in on which system is going to work for you. And again, don't forget that this may change later. Right now, you may be a digital girl, and then later you might discover that you want to try a coil system. Then you may try the coil system, and then you may say, you know what, let me try the disc bound system. Something has changed in my life, and I need to be able to move those pages around. So be flexible, especially when you're a newbie planner, because things are going to change, okay? It's just a part of the game. And so you want to be flexible in that, so that way you can truly find the planner that works for you. And as things change in your life, you can kind of move with that change. Number 2 is that you have to make time for your planner. I think you probably already know that by now. If you want to make your planner effective for you, you have to use it. You have to make time for it. And sometimes it does require a lot of time depending on your style of planning. There's some times that I'm sitting down for a planning session and it literally takes a couple of hours, okay? And that's okay. Or it could take 10 minutes. It's completely up to you, and that has to be comfortable for you. So if you're comfortable with spending a couple hours, and it usually involves stickers or sticky notes or something like that. And there's also lots of parts of my life that I plan for, so that's what makes it take a little longer as well. But just remember that you can't plan for things in your life if you don't have a dedicated time for you to sit down and do that. And try to make it consistent. So for me, I sit down on a Sunday evening. That's what works for me, where I can kind of tune everybody out and take a couple of hours for myself if I choose to take a couple of hours, or I can take, however long that it takes for me, and I can just really focus on making sure that I'm prepared for my month and for my week. So whether it's once a month, once a week, once a day, whatever works best for you, you need to find time to sit down with your planner. And so you can schedule out those days. And when you do this, guys, you really start your day with intention, guidance, and just knowing what's going on and what you need to do to tackle that day, which in turn makes you more productive. Number 3, you want to make the most out of your monthly calendar. Now, I know for some people, they don't use a monthly calendar. I have to use a monthly calendar. For me, that's where it starts. So I have to plan my whole entire month out. I have to be able to see the overview of what's going on in my life, and then I can start to break down the weeks. So your monthly calendar is where you're going to write down your big picture. You're going to write things down like your monthly goals, your bill due date, appointments, travel dates, special occasions, family outings, and any sort of activities that need to be added to your monthly. Now, you're going to be looking back at your monthly calendar a lot, so make sure that it is clear and concise. And you're going to use that information to transfer that over into your weekly, so that way you can drill down even further and you can know on a daily basis what you need to accomplish. Number 4 is all about using those weekly and daily pages. Your weekly and daily pages are where you're going to be able to tackle your tasks and make sure that you are tracking your goals and keeping track of those as well. You should schedule all of your to-do list items and lay out your action steps for your goals. And so all of this should be done in your planning session. And so, for instance, if my weekly goal was to declutter the kitchen, let's say, my weekly and daily planner should include action steps to be able to achieve that goal, like purchase supplies or clean this particular task or donate or give away or sell. Whatever is involved in that process should be broken down in my weekly. So what this is going to do is create motivation and accountability, and it's going to help you to cross off those major items and be able to see what you've accomplished. And that is going to make it so much easier to be able to accomplish those goals. Number 5 is all about that blank space, okay? Now, if you're anything like me, you love a little bit of blank space. Some others are no white space planners. They don't want to see any white space in their planner. They just want to fill it up with stickers and write everything in and just fill up that whole space. So that is just going to be determined by you and what you like to see in your planner. And so if you are more of a visual planner, like most of us are, you may not want to see as much white space. But I don't think there's a problem with white space because you're really just writing in the things that you need to accomplish, and sometimes that involves having white space. And then also, you may have several pages of notes, just blank note paper in your planner, and you're not quite sure what to do with those blank pages. So I have 2 suggestions. Number 1 is to purchase a disc-bound system where you'll have full control of your planner. Again, we talked about that in the first tip. And that way, you'll be able to add or remove those pages as needed. So if you have too much note page in a section of your planner and you just don't need it, take it out. You can pretty much only do that with a disc-bound system or a ring-bound system. Sometimes you can have a little bit of a hack when it comes to coil systems where you can kind of slit the coil, or not the coil, but the spine of where the coil is, and then you can use that to remove the pages, but sometimes that can be a little bit cumbersome or time-consuming, and you may not want to do that. So that's why it's so important on the front end. Again, in step number 1, we talked about being able to choose that right planner on the front end, and then being flexible if it doesn't work for you. And so if you find that you are having to move things around too much, or you have the desire to move things around too much, then you may want to reconsider the planner type that you have and make a change. And then secondly is to put the blank pages to good use. So do a little bit of research again to figure out how to fill in blank pages. I think I may even have a video on my channel here talking you through how to use a blank notebook, and a lot of those things that I mentioned could apply to this particular situation. There is a way to fill those note pages up. So if you don't have a system where you can just remove them, then just find out how to use them. And that should be pretty easy to do if you do a little bit of research. So with a little bit of creativity, you can find a way to fill in those blank pages in your planner with tons of helpful and useful information that can help you to be more productive. So here are some examples of what you could use those blank pages for. Again, you could always check that video out on my YouTube channel. That may be able to help as well. So you can use those blank pages for journaling. A lot of us keep a journal. You can even add photos to that journal. That's a great way to use those blank pages. And then also you could use it for recording important dates or any sort of memories. You could also use it as a master to-do list. Now, I love that idea because I do keep a master to-do list in my planner, and that has helped me tremendously. So I would definitely recommend, even if you don't use blank pages for that, some sort of insert or some way to be able to track a master list of all of the things that you need to get accomplished. Even an inbox system, that has proven to be probably one of the best things that I've added to my planner. You could also document milestones in your life. A bucket list would be a great idea to use for those blank pages. You could also use them to plan out all of your goals, especially with 2023 right around the corner. We all have a lot of goals that we want to accomplish, so you could totally use the blank pages for that. That is actually a great idea, especially now that we are again transitioning into a new year. You could also use it for random lists. Now, I am definitely a list maker, so I love writing all the lists. I have a dedicated notebook that I use for lists, so you can definitely use the blank pages for any sort of random list that you'd like to make. You could also use blank pages for sketching or drawing. Again, bullet journaling would be a great way to use blank pages. I also love writing quotes and affirmations, so that's a great one to use those pages for as well. Gratitude also, you guys. We should all have something to be thankful for, okay? And so you can use those pages to be able to write out some things, maybe on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis that you're grateful for. Also, scripture writing is a great idea. I love keeping track of scriptures that I want to memorize, scriptures I want to share in my ministry, scriptures I want the kids to know, and just I love being able to write those down on blank pages. So that's a great way to use them as well. And then memory planning. Now, I once got into memory planning, and then I decided that it's just very overwhelming for me. So in my mind, I would love to be able to do it more, but I don't get a chance to do it often. So if you are someone that would love to start keeping a memory planner, then you'll definitely want to use those blank pages to be able to add different elements, photos, write out a couple of things, and that's a great way to use them as well. So using the blank pages in your planner in this way is definitely going to help you with your organization and increase your productivity tenfold. So that's it, you guys. Those are my 5 tips in order to help you to make sure that you are being the most productive that you can be. So let's do a quick recap. Number 1, you want to invest in a planner that you're going to love. Number 2, you want to make sure that you're sitting down and making time for your planner. That's such an important step, so schedule it in and know that every Sunday or every Saturday you're going to sit down, take 20 minutes or an hour, whatever works best for you, so that you can sit down and plan out your entire month, your entire week, your entire day, so that you could be the most productive you can be. Number 3 is to use your monthly calendar for the big picture. Number 4 is to use your weekly and daily pages to drill down, hone in, and get a little bit more clarity on what needs to be done weekly and daily. Number 5 is if your planner has a bunch of blank pages, use them. Really try to embrace your creativity and let that flow freely so that you can use those either to bullet journal, or you could use them to do any of the suggested things that I mentioned, a journal, bucket list. The possibilities are endless. Or you can move them out of there. If you have that sort of system where you can take those pages out or move them around, you can do that as well. And so if you feel like you've been using your planner all wrong, I really hope that these tips help you to become more organized and more productive. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I really hope that it inspired you, that you enjoyed it, which means you'll give me a thumbs up on this video. And then I want you to come back, I hope that you will, and catch me for the next video, in which case I'll see you then.